All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on language itself. I mean, really get into the nuts and bolts to decode its hidden rules. Let's jump right in.
So, let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to spell a word and just your brain completely freezes? Or maybe you've seen two words that look almost the same but sound totally different. Yeah, if English feels like this chaotic, random mess sometimes, you are definitely not alone. It can be super frustrating. And here's the thing. You're not wrong to feel that way. It is messy. But, and this is the really cool part, linguists have come up with some brilliant tools to bring a little order to all that chaos. And today, we're going to look at two of the absolute most powerful ones. Okay, so where does all this messiness even come from? Well, a huge part of it starts with a really basic disconnect in English. The way we write a word often has very little to do with how we actually say it. I mean, just look at the word women. Spelling, you see a letter O right there in the middle, but the sound we make is an is sound, like women. It makes no sense, right? This is exactly the kind of puzzle that can make you want to tear your hair out. So how do we fix this?
Well, to crack this code, linguists have a secret weapon. This is our first pillar for understanding language, the International Phonetic Alphabet. You'll probably see it called the IPA. So what is the IPA? Think of it like a universal alphabet for sound. Instead of our normal 26 letters, which, let's be honest, can stand for dozens of different sounds depending on the word, the IPA gives us one unique symbol for every single sound the human mouth can make. It's a total game changer.
And this is its superpower, right here. One symbol equals one sound. That's it. No exceptions, no confusion, no sometimes this letter sounds like this. All of a sudden, the total chaos of English spelling gets replaced by the pure, beautiful logic of sound.
And the system itself is just so beautifully organized. It literally maps out every sound we can make, breaking them down into vowels and consonants. It even gets super specific, like where in your mouth a sound is made and how the air is flowing. And the act of writing words using these symbols, that's called transcription. All right, let's see this in action. We'll take a super simple word, cat. We all know it has 3 letters, but what are the actual distinct sounds that make up that word? And here you go. In IPA, cat is written like this, with these 3 symbols between the slashes. You've got the k sound, then that a symbol. That represents that very specific a sound in cat. And finally, the t sound. See, it's precise, it's clear, and there's no way to misinterpret it. That is the power of the IPA. Okay, that's amazing for individual sounds. We've solved that puzzle. But, we speak in sentences, not just sounds. So for that, we need our second pillar. This is a tool that acts like a blueprint for a sentence, and it's called immediate constituent analysis. So IC analysis is basically a method for taking a sentence apart, piece by piece. Instead of just seeing a flat string of words, it lets us see the hidden architecture inside, all the layers and the relationships between the different parts. Yeah, this idea, which came from linguists like Leonard Bloomfield, is absolutely key. It says that a sentence is way more than just a flat string of words. It has a layered internal structure. The Russian nesting doll analogy is perfect here. IC analysis is how we start opening them up to see what's inside. Let's make this crystal clear with an example. Here's our sentence. The smart student passed the exam. Now, on the surface, it's just 6 words in a row. But the very first step in our analysis is to find the biggest, most natural cut in that sentence. And boom, there it is. The sentence splits really cleanly into 2 main chunks. You have the who or what part, the smart student, and then you have what they did, pass the exam. That's our first top-level layer. Okay, now we go a level deeper. We can split each of those chunks again. So the smart student breaks down into the and smart student, and pass the exam splits into passed and the exam. See how we're finding smaller and smaller building blocks? And finally, we break it all the way down to its smallest parts. And just look at that. The nested brackets now show you the sentence's true blueprint. You can actually see that smart is attached to student. It's not just floating around randomly. This is the hidden architecture that IC analysis brings to light. It's awesome. So there we have it, our 2 pillars, one for decoding the tiniest sounds and one for blueprinting entire sentences. Now let's put it all together and see what this powerful new toolkit really lets us do.
The best way to think about it is like this. The IPA, that's our magnifying glass. It lets us zoom right in on the tiniest, most specific details of sound. And then IC analysis, that's our blueprint. It shows us the grand architectural plan for how we build our thoughts into complete sentences.
So what's the big deal with all this? I mean, why should you care about phonetic symbols and a bunch of brackets in a sentence? Let's connect the dots and talk about why this is actually really cool.
Because what these tools really do, when you get down to it, is pull back the curtain on our own minds. They show us that language isn't just some messy, random jumble of rules we have to memorize. No way. It's an incredibly elegant, sophisticated, and deeply structured system, and it's hiding in plain sight, working underneath every single conversation you have every single day.
And that is the real takeaway here. Language isn't just something we use, it's a fascinating system we can actually observe and understand.